today, right, I decided to do another range test. So this time, I thought rather than riding somewhere in the forest on downhill trails and things like that, I thought I'd just do a gradual bridle path sort of climby ride sort of thing. So for this, I'm on the Trek Rail 9.8 XT with a 750 battery. As usual on bridle paths, you've got your standard typical gradual climb, so not too steep, but it is gradual. Then you have certain sections where there may have been a bridge once, or the road goes across and you suddenly have a dip, and this one coming up to contend with. But yeah, so you come to dips like this, so hopefully this just gives you an idea of the type of terrain that I'm cycling on the day. So generally pretty flat, with a gradual slight climb up, and on the way back pretty much downhill all the way. So let's see how the bike performs. So far I've done about 8 miles. Started off in Roansgill, I'm now in Concert. So 8 miles and I've got 79% battery left. Yeah, so 8 miles in total, 79% battery left. I have noticed that the battery, the first 20% does seem to die pretty quick. So in the weather, it is quite cold, it's winter, wet, so probably helps it deplete a little bit as well. And I've been riding for a total of 40 minutes, just under 40 minutes. So yeah, see how it goes. So far, I've done a total of 9 miles, even from Roansgill. I've got to this crossroads here, just outside of Concert. So back that way, it takes you to Roansgill, then onto the coast. Head off to the left, you end up going to Sunderland, which is about 27 miles away. That way takes you to Durham and Teesside. If you keep on going to the right, which is where we're heading, head up on the moors and to Stanhope, which is where I'm heading for, you can also get up to another 109 miles will take you to Whitehaven. So there you go. Quite a nice little bridle path. Lots of different alternative routes. So you don't think I'll get the 109 miles on an e-bike like, but I might get an extra 15 miles. So here's an interesting place. Not far from Houndsgill Viaduct, there is a quarry. Doesn't seem to get used for much these days other than graffiti and parties. And probably sexy time. Someone's clearly had beans on toast. Don't even say that, they go beans on toast. Yeah, it's quite a little interesting place to visit if you've never been. I don't think you're supposed to go in here, like, but because it is fenced off, but never mind. It's good fun to have a little ride through sometimes. More and more graffiti seems to have been added to it. Unfortunately, the place is starting to look a lot worse for wear. Smells of pee. There's been a few more rocks come down. And it is just full of rubbish. It's a shame really. It used to be quite an interesting place to visit. Probably the last time I come here. Just an absolute mess. Oh, just been dripped on. Bits of broken grass everywhere. It's a shame people have to ruin everywhere. Used to be quite good fun riding down there. Nice little steep chute, but it's full of debris now and broken glass. So I don't think I'll be riding down that today. Well, that was a total shame. The quarry's totally ruined now. There's bottles and cans everywhere, broken glass, full of graffiti, and it smells of pee. Such a shame. Used to be a really fascinating place. Anyway, that's Hounsgill Viaduct, and that's where we're heading now, to the Wascley. So here we are on top of Hounsgill Viaduct. Got lots of big barriers up now. Used to be a favourite spot for suicide victims. So now we've got a challenge to climb over it. Makes it look interesting. It's constantly black. I don't know what you call it. So far, I've done about 12 miles, and the average speed has been about between 13 and 14.5 miles per hour, and I've been in tour mode all the way. A bit windy. I started off with 100% battery, and I'm down to 72%. So the climb, as you can imagine, is a typical bridle path. They're not super steep, but they do gradually climb, or just wind the way around the countryside. This one's pretty straight, but it heads pretty much from sea level all the way up to the moors, so I say a couple of 100 feet. I didn't start from sea level, I only started from like the village where I live, so it'll be interesting to see how far I get on the battery. I'll just say, yeah, I'm going to do 50% riding and then turn around and come back, or just see how far I can get and maybe come back on 20% battery. It is downhill all the way pretty much, so it shouldn't be too bad. The only issue is, obviously it's downhill, and the battery on the motor cuts out at 15-16 miles per hour. So that's a bit of a bugger, because it is a fast section where you can get down here at least 20, 25 to 30 miles an hour. So that's going to be interesting to see how the e-bike is on that. I did notice on the way up, every time I did manage to go faster than 13, 40 miles an hour, and I was hitting the 15 to 16 miles an hour, the battery was cutting out. Why do I keep saying battery? The motor kept cutting out, which is an absolute drag. I just think that is absolutely stupid. So the first thing I'd say is, on bridle paths and road riding, I think the e-bikes are just not worth it. I go faster on a normal bike. But the plus side, I'm not spewing out my arse here. So that's good. So we'll just see how it goes. Well, I think for today I've gone as far as I want to go. That's where I was planning to head up to. And as you can see, the weather's took a turn for the worst. It is really cold. It's not exactly lashing down, but it's pretty wet. So I think on that note, I'm going to turn around and come back. It's a shame, so we have about another 3-4 miles to go up there to a destination, but unfortunately not. Anyway, that's the way back there now. I've done a total of 16.2 miles. Got 60% battery left, and our riding time about 1 hour 27 minutes. So it's better than when I pedal up here, but it's not massively better, I wouldn't say. Has the e-bike made a difference? Certainly has. Ooh, look at that, man, what a quiff. Certainly made a lot of difference. I'm not half as knackered. It's also quite good boosting your way up there rather than having to slog up. The only downside to it is with the motor cutting out, it is a bit of a bugger. Could have got up here a lot quicker, I think. That last section I was averaging 14 to 16 miles per hour before the motor was cutting out. I reckon I could have changed the gears a little bit more and the motor wouldn't cut out, and I reckon I could have been up here a lot quicker. So I would say that having a motor is good fun. Definitely is an advantage, but if like me you like the speed, then it's a bit of a bummer. But if you're doing it purely because you got ill health, then they're definitely worth it, I'd say. But hey ho, I've still got another 16 miles to go back home yet. That'll really test the motor and the speed out. Question is now, do I continue the other 3 miles? The rain has let off a little, and I want to see how far I can go. I think I could be. Bugger, here I come. Well, here I am. Decided to brave the storm, heading up the woods. The water on the left looks like quite nice effect. I could have done here, but having some extra power from the motor, well, extra miles from the motor. I've already kept hitting 16 miles, the motor's cutting out, so that's a bit of a shame. And it's going to be really a shame coming back down here, because down here you can fly. Which I don't think I'm going to be doing. I think I'm going to be freewheeling this bit, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a shame. Anyway, look at the views. That's better. Got the raindrops off the heads. Bit of reservoir. Up there on the horizon where the sun is, just down below there, is the cafe, which is my destination. Can I make it there on 50% battery? Oh the lally, we shall see. Well, I did it. I got further than I wanted to get, so that's good. Done a total of 19.1 miles. I've got 51% battery left, so that should get us home quite easily. So that's good. Again, the motor and the mileage on the motor, just don't like it. It's hitting 16 miles per hour up there, and the motor was cutting out. I really could have done with a few extra miles. Even 20 miles would have been good. So I am quite worried about heading back, as like I said, it's all downhill pretty much. So 19.1 miles up, or maybe it's 20, just depends on whose GPS thing you're going by. But yeah, now going about 19.1 miles downhill. So downhill should be much more pleasurable and much easier, but we'll see. Was it easier having a motor? As I said before, definitely. It's definitely made it easier coming up. Again, if you just go at a casual pace, you're going to have no problems. But if, like me, you like to put your foot down, you want to go fast, then you're struggling against your motor. But still, I'm a lot more fitter, healthier, alive, or whatever you want to call it, than I would be if I had to just pedal up here on my pedally bike. So, having the motor is definitely a bonus. Oh, I'm hungry and I'm thirsty. Whew. Whew. So overall, to get up to the top, it took about 1 hour 40 minutes. Usually on my pedally bike, you'll be talking about 2.5 to 3 hours. Well, for me anyway, my pedal bike. So yeah, so it's definitely better on the e-bike in that respect. Whew. I'm heading back now. Just went down the first descent, which was a bit disappointing. Fighting against the motor's maximum speed allowance. Constantly kept cutting out at 16, and I wanted to go faster. But again, I was fighting against the motor, so that was disappointing. That said, if I didn't fight against the motor and just went with the motor, then it wasn't too bad. But like I said before, I want to go fast when I can. And that there is a nice fast descent. Oh, nice kind of sunsetty thing there though. Anyway, over there somewhere, there's my way home. Ugh, that's a long way. Ugh. I want to go down there, beyond the horizon. Oh, way back over there. Oh. Sounds girl. Well, that's it. The ride's over and it's suddenly gone dark. But anyway, so starting off from Roansgill on our way up to Parkhead Station on the Wascombe Moors and all the way back to Roansgill. So, how was it? As far as the range goes, as I said, got a 750 battery. I'm riding on tour mode and the trail terrain was pretty much just bridle path all the way. So typical bridle path, slight climb, slight undulating ground, but nothing too strenuous. So overall done 38 miles, just under 38 miles, and I've still got 34% battery left, so that's not too bad. When I got to the top of the moors, about 19.7 miles or something like that, I had used 51%, I had 51% battery left. Come back, didn't use as much. So you definitely tell a difference in where the battery's being strained. As far as the speed restriction goes with the motor, well again, I'm not happy with that. So, as most people know over here, you have a restriction of about 15.5 miles, 16 miles before the motor cuts out, and most of our companies you get about 25 miles. So I can't understand why we don't have the same. Now, going up there, as I said, I was averaging about 14 miles an hour, so anything more, I was just cutting the battery out, the motor out, and having to pedal. So it wasn't too bad if I stayed within my range, but again I wanted to go faster and I was restricted. Now coming back was a different matter at all. Coming back on some of the hills, I was hitting 31, 32 miles an hour, again no battery, so that was an absolute nightmare. So I just don't understand why they can't give you the extra bit of speed and power and motor assistance. What is interesting is a lot of people turn around and say, you know, the speed restrictions are for safety, but considering I was hitting 31 miles an hour without the motor, just shows that it doesn't matter having a motor or not, you're going to go fast or slow, regardless of just personal preference. And again, God knows what people on races are hitting coming down there, so I just don't get why they're restricted. But I think overall, I think having the motor certainly helped. I'm not half as dead. My legs are tired, but I'm not knackered. And again, I think if you keep within the motor and the speed restrictions, then you're not going to have a problem. If anybody like me who wants to go faster, you're going to struggle a bit. So yeah, so I think overall, I think that was a success. I think the range, I was well within my range, so that's good. I've still got battery left, I could have went further. Certainly didn't use as much coming back. That was to be expected because it's downhill, and most of the time the motor was off anyway because I was pedaling like an idiot. But yeah, so there you go. Hope this video helps, and anybody wondering about e-bikes and what range you're going to get, hope this gives you an idea. Again, obviously, different weather, different hills, different terrain, it's all going to make a difference, so just be aware of that. But yeah, hey ho, see you next time, cheers.